What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Indescribable, aka Jerrilyn Lake, checking in with my bestie for the bestie,
Lynee Monet, and you are listening to the She Said It First podcast and the Urban One podcast on the Urban One Podcast Network.
Period. It's okay, girl. It's okay. They know us by now. It's been almost a year.
Right. It's been a minute, y'all.
They know. So, before we get into all the juicy goodness today, y'all know how we like to start the segments off. I ain't seen my girl in a minute, so I got to ask her. Friend, what irritated you this week?
Jerrilyn, I'm so glad you asked. I thought you would never ask. Girl, I don't like when I'm on vacation, okay? I'm living in a fairy tale, if you will, okay?
Mhm.
I'm enjoying everything, the fruits of my labor. You know what I'm saying? Paying for this, paying for that. And I ripped away and I got to come home. I know exactly how Eminem felt. Snap back to reality. Well, I don't rock me. I'm like, not back in my humble abode. What is this return back to sender thing that they got going on with this vacation? I don't like coming back to my house. Like, I want to stay there. You ever go on vacation and be like, I really could just never come back. Like,
Baby, not to threaten me. You know not to threaten me because the way I've been Googling visa application procedures, you gonna wake up one day and maybe I'll be done moved to Spain, Portugal.
Girl, like it's just, I don't know. And it wasn't even like I was anywhere fancy, girl. I was in Orlando. But just the fact that the weather was beautiful. Girl, the fruit in Orlando, amazing. Like, I don't know what type of agriculture they got out there, but I like what they do. I like the farming out there. The farming out there is real, and I like that. So it's like, I don't know, girl. I just felt like I was on vacation. I felt like it was just ripped away from me, and now I'm at work. I mean, I'm happy to have a job, but Jesus.
Friend, I'm sorry. I'm glad that you're back, though, but I also hope that you had an amazing time. I'm sure that you did. So
I did. I had so much fun. Yeah.
That's good. Well,
now, what irritates you?
You know, I always got something for the people. The thing that irritated me the most, people who get in that damn Ring camera when you know I'm recording you and act a fool. Go in the house. Because now you're out here pissing me off. You know it's recording. You heard the notification. You heard the chime. And now you're out here lollygagging in front of my damn door. Move.
What did you see, friend? What did you see?
I'm glad you owned it. So look, the girl that's there across the way, she got a little situation. And nothing abnormal. You know, people have dudes come over. Dudes have girls come over. That's what people do in the privacy of their own home. Child, last week it was a different dude. Ooh. Now, you ain't hear this from me.
But I'm listening.
But this week, it was dude number one. I said, now hold on now. Now you can't. Now this is not a buffet. You can't try everything. Okay, you're gonna have to.
You're not. You're gonna have a sample platter. Are you sure that
you're gonna have to pick one and stick? Because the way this Ring camera work, it went off at 3 a.m. when you rolled up in the house. Okay, so if you,
I love that.
Listen,
stay in front of my ring light, please. Please stay in front of my door, girl. I was just a popcorn. I love it.
No, and then one of my neighbors, he's so funny. He just moved in not too long ago, but we have dogs, and so we end up walking the dogs together sometimes. He's so messy. He'll text me. He be like, "You hear what's going on in apartment 8?" You know?
I'm crying. Yeah, not the neighborhood gossip. The way y'all gossiping back and forth.
He texted me something. I wasn't even dressed, baby. I threw clothes on so fast and ran out there. Toto didn't even need to go outside. I'd have said, "You finna find some urine today because we need to see what's going on." I don't have a bunch of, excitement in my life. And then I'm missing, I'm kind of fiending for a vacation. So I need some mess. I need some excitement. And so that's it for me. So I went right on out there to see what was going on. And somebody was getting evicted.
Wow.
I said,
I got all to see.
I said, let me just cut the ring off between the hours.
Just give them some privacy.
Yeah, because at this point, I feel like I know way too much about these people. But if
they got a cute dinette set out there, if you don't mind, I'll pay for shipping. I will pay for shipping.
Girl, because what my neighbor gonna say, you think he mind if I get his washer and dryer? I said, you're about to get beat up in the parking lot. That's what you're about to do. Because now you're playing too much. But it was funny though. I don't try to be. I'm really not here a whole lot. But when I am here, my ring is going off even when I'm not. And so I'm, just seeing stuff. And so I thought that was so funny. I was like, maybe they don't know the ring is up there, but it makes a noise. It chimes. So I know but.
Girl, they know. They don't care.
Sorry to them people. I really wasn't trying to be in y'all business. I'm sorry, but I hope you find somewhere soft to land. I apologize about your addiction.
Oh, that was nice, friend. That was nice.
Yeah, that's all I got. But we got to get on to somebody else's mess, not just what's going on over at my apartment. So, friend, you have to ask me.
Girl, what happened?
Oh my gosh, I thought you would never ask. Lynee, it's messy in Houston, baby. You know how we said we was going to take a little trip down south?
Absolutely.
Girl, it's messy down there. They got a DL list. So apparently, there's a trans woman in Houston who's going around telling it all. Okay. She released a list of men who are seemingly straight, but have slid into her DMs. And the TikTok post has since been deleted. But, people have copied and pasted and reposted and all these things. And so now it's a lot of talk on social media about outing people. I personally feel like that's crazy. And I know she probably thought she was helping people, but I don't think it's ever someone else's place to out another person. I felt like that was way low and disrespectful. Some people might, support her and say that people have the right to know. But what do you think? Do you think the trans women should have released the names like she did? And does she deserve consequences? Like, what does this situation look like after the fallout? Because I'm sure these people maybe had families and stuff.
Yeah, I think somebody got to do the dirty work. And why not let it be her? Someone has to get to the bikini bottom of things. And if it's going to be her, so be it.
Looks like somebody needs a ring camera. Mm-hmm.
Girl, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do that, but I commend those that do. You know what I mean? I think that she definitely should be careful because then that just puts such a target on your back. Like, girl, dude's gonna be coming for your head left and right and left, but it's also not fair to heterosexual women who have relationships with these men and could be exposing themselves to all types of things, and like, if they're never going to tell you, which they probably never are, girl, I'm sorry, switch gears for a second. Not really, but the same scenario. Just like Amy Luciani, you know what I'm talking about? And Dwayne Howard, right?
Dwight Howard, yeah.
Dwight Howard and Royce, because Royce been said, Royce been said that there was a little twinkle in that diamond, a little bit glistening, a little too hard over there. And she had been told everybody that it was too much going on with him. And Amy didn't want to believe it, but we all could kind of see what was going on with Dwayne, right? And then she came forth and said she caught him in a bed with a man with a wig, right? And it's like, you didn't know that. I'm sorry, friend.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's what she said, though. Like,
news to me.
She was like, she said, I had to leave him because I literally caught him in the act. But he's also come forth and said that, I think he came forth and said that might be something he dabbles and dabbles.
Yeah, he doesn't mind dating trans women.
And why?
I think
that's the thing.
They tell you.
Look, come forth. Like, that's I guess I'm between a rock and a hard place because I don't mind people coming forth and being honest about their sexual preference or who they like to date. But it's the ones who literally live a heterosexual life but are bisexual and will never tell you. Like, will take that to the grave. And you try to figure out why you and your pH balance keep fighting and arguing every morning after you sleep. You don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to figure out what's the argument about, okay?
Right.
Like, it's a problem. So I don't like how she went about it, but I just commend people who are bold enough to do it because I'm listening. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I got my ears to the ground. Okay, I got my ears to the talk. I got my ears to use it because I'm going to listen. What she talking about, what she said, I wouldn't do it, but happy she did.
I think it's up to the individual people and whoever they're sleeping with. I don't think that it's anybody's right to expose somebody because while these people are public figures, people like Dwight Howard or whomever who has come out and told us about their sexuality or whatever. First of all, I don't care. I don't care enough. I don't care who you're sleeping with enough for it to be a pressing issue on my mind before I go to bed at night. That's number one. Number two, I feel like just because you're a public figure does not mean you should be obligated to share your sexuality or your sexual lifestyle, your preferences or anything like that with anybody. I think the only people that need to know are the people that you're sleeping with. And if they're okay with what is going on between the two of you, then I think that nothing else matters. I think that this is like a violation of privacy. And while it's juicy and it's entertaining, I do think it's a line crossed and there's boundaries. And I feel like a trans woman should know this more than anybody, because a lot of times they don't want to share that they're trans for fear of rejection and things of this nature. So why would you? I just feel like if somebody want me to know that they're trans or they're bisexual or gay or whatever, they need to come and tell me. And they need to go and tell whoever. It's not my job to be like, well, so-and-so. It's not, I don't know. It's just not my job. Now, will I look at the blog when it releases? Yes.
It's to the blog. You know,
I'm gonna be like, wow, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
Not my business.
You know what I'm saying? Agree. I definitely agree. And totally agree with just the person that you're with needs to know. You know, like everybody don't need to know your business. That's why I said I wouldn't do that, because I just wouldn't do that. Like, I respect people's privacy for one. Gay, straight, bisexual, queer, I don't care what it is. It's like, it's just something that don't have nothing to do with me. But I do commend those who have the balls to do that. I am worried about her safety, because when you do stuff like that, then you know what I'm saying? You put yourself in harm's way. And like you said, somebody who is transgender should understand that the most. You know, like, it's so hard being born in the wrong body or feeling like you need to change certain things about yourself so you fit into what you see yourself as, you know? And so to feel outcasted, or to feel like, you know, you were misunderstood and then place somebody in the same things that you should be able to relate to is not right. It's definitely not right. But it's also not right to be on a DL. Because if you was open, then it wouldn't be called DL. We would know about it. It wouldn't be called down low. Okay, it would be called out in the open. Okay.
Also that it will be called wide open.
Okay, wide and busted wide open. So
okay. You know what? But you know, but you know what though, friend? There are a lot of people who like to dibble and dabble in a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. And our favorite uncle he done got the short end of the stick, so to speak. Your child, I know you done heard about what Uncle Shay is up to. And I don't care what people do in the privacy of their own home. I have two rules. Was it consensual?
Yeah.
And are they an adult? And I say these words intentionally because, to me, 18 years old is not an adult. To me, just because you're 21 and you can drink, it doesn't make you an adult. I think about what I do, how I was at 20, 21, 19 years old or whatever. And I know I had no business with a 56-year-old. Shannon Sharpe is now being sued for sexual assault. And it's a minor. Like, apparently she was a minor when they started fooling around, or 19. She was 19 when they started fooling around. And so he's been dealing with her on and off for at least around 2 years. And so, you know, text messages have been released. And when we
say dealing, we talking about sexual acts.
Yes, absolutely.
Not like together.
Yes, no, like just having sex. Which, again, she's an OnlyFans model. So people have said that, well, if you can sell your stuff on the internet, then somebody else should be able to buy it. And I think that at some point we have got to take accountability for being weirdos, because just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. Yeah. She's still a child. And, you know, he's now taking a leave of absence from ESPN, saying that he wants to focus on his family. You know, he has daughters around this girl's age. So I'm curious, what the hell is going on with Uncle Shannon?
Well, I think Miss Netta is just going through so much, to be honest with you. Like, I just feel like her Charles. It's sad to see her and Charles back in the blogs again.
Charles, your lunch is ready.
You know he look like Miss Netta. Girl, you
That's
remind
crazy.
me of Miss Netta. Every time I look at him, I'll be like, Miss Netta, my God, you changed.
He do.
It's just, what I really think is, this is what you get for having skeletons in your closet and like trying to project on other people, literally. Because you just had Donnell Rawlings on your show and you was talking crazy to that man about him impregnating a 23-year-old, and you was like, will you meet her at Forever 21? Well, at least she was 23. This one was 19. She ain't supposed to be at Forever 21. Where you meet her at?
Yeah,
okay,
she can't even sit down at the bar. She
Like,
can't even have a drink, sir. What?
Exactly.
What do y'all have in common, Uncle Shannon? What do y'all have in common? Because you might be putting Ben Gay on your back and joints and knees and stuff. And so I'm trying to understand how y'all meet. Where y'all meet at?
where y'all meet at? You know, so it's like, that's what you get. That's why this came to the surface, because you went on Donnell so bad for having a baby by the girl from Bad Girls Club, her being 23 and him being so much older. You had jokes for days, okay? And then that girl came forth and said, well, wait a minute. I was only 19 and you was, you know what I'm saying? Michelle. And that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
But it was somebody. And now, based on recent findings, could it have also been another person who was under the age of 20?
Come on.
We'll never know.
I'm tired of learning about his sexual activities, Jerrilyn. I'm sick of this. I know more about his sexual activities than my own.
But you know, this is bringing up a lot of different conversations for people. I've heard his name in conversations with people like Bill Belichick, who has his girlfriend Jordan Hudson. I think she's in her early 20s as well. And we're also finding out about what's the guy's name? Not finding out about, but Ron Isley of the Isley Brothers group. He's in his 80s now, and I believe his wife is maybe like 40, maybe something like that. And so people are saying, is the age gap the problem? And I'm saying, no, the age gap isn't the problem. It's the literal age. Like, if you're 45 and you're dating an 80-year-old, okay, you grown. You've seen enough of the world to know that you know what I mean? But if somebody is 21, 22, 23, why are you dealing with a 50-year-old? And I think Shannon has been seen saying things on his little podcast with Ocho Cinco. He talking about these older women, they try to shame us for not wanting to pick them. These younger women, that's their real competition, because they'll come up and they'll do whatever you want them to do. Boom. Got you right there to catch a predator in 4K. Yeah. Him right there, officer. Because what you're saying is you don't really prefer younger women. You prefer easy to manipulate women. Control. You prefer pliable women. You prefer children, because you know that a grown woman ain't going to deal with it. For that stuff that you're talking about on them podcasts, ain't no grown woman finna deal with that. But a child who don't know no better and just looking for a payday, she'll tolerate it.
And he's so fraudulent, though, because in the same breath, he'll sit up there and go on somebody for talking to somebody younger. So it's okay for you to do it, but it's wrong for somebody else to do it. You know, like, even when he was talking to Monique, and I think Monique went on there, was telling him, stay away from these young girls. They'll catch you up. She literally said, stay away from these young girls. They will catch you up. And look at you, all up in the spider web and can't get out. Just a mess.
It's a spider.
It's okay? Don't
make no damn sense.
God doggone it. But as far as him, we know that this is what I do think. I know that men are attracted to younger women. Because if you remember that post that went around on social media, and it was like, would you rather be with a woman who had a multi-million-dollar company or the girl at Home Depot? And there was so many men, and she was younger. You could tell she was like a college student, like very, and it was this older, you know, very mature woman, established, whatever. And there were so many men in the comments, pretty much just like, I'd rather have a girl from Home Depot. She could be easily tamed, trained. She don't want too much. Easy, just easy. All I kept saying is easy. When it comes to a woman who is older, more mature, more established, has a lot already. Like, they were just like, she already set in her ways, and you know what I mean? She don't want to listen to nobody. And I just wish y'all would stop thinking people were property. Like, the minute y'all get it in your heads that people are not property, you're not looking to own someone so you can tell them what to do or what not to do. Like, that's not why you get in relationships. Like, what happens to just pure raw connection? Don't nobody just talk about that anymore. Like, everybody's like, I want to be with a 19-year-old because I can control them. I can tell them what to do. It's easy to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's never anything substantial.
Well, those men are insecure. The reason yo ashy, hair receding, pot belly, big back, crinkled nose, ashy fingers, flat foot, long neck, wide nostril having ass, don't want to deal with a woman who has a Fortune 500 company or is a millionaire or whatever the case may be, is because you know she deserves better than you. So you'll go be with a woman who may have a degree, may not, you know, may have a job, may not. But it's the power struggle that men care about. That ego is so frail that they got to be with somebody that they can lord their material wealth over them in order to feel like a man. And that's a problem we're always going to see, because men like to feel like providers. And my thing is, if you got to make more money than me and you got to be better off than me to feel like a provider, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, we're going to have a problem.
We're going to have a problem.
We're going to have a problem because I'm not going to stop. I'm going to tell you now, there are people in this world who get complacent and they be like, I'm good with this right here. If I just make this every month, I'm cool. I'm not that person, Jerrilyn.
No.
Like, if I made this,
week.
I'm telling you, if I made this
every week, I want 20,000 or more.
We built for this. What'd you say?
Every week, I want 20,000 or more.
Thank you. Okay, 20K or more. Like, did she teach you nothing? 20K or more. Like, that's it. If I made 20K that month, the next month, I'm like, that wasn't hard to do. Let me see if I can double it. Like, I just don't get complacent. So being in a relationship or being with somebody like me and all you looking at is the numbers, you're going to be forever in competition with me because I'm never going to settle. I'm never going to be like, oh, well, that was easy to do. Why don't I just keep doing the same thing and never progress and never grow and never see if I can get further ahead in life? Like, I don't get complacent like that, you know?
Yeah. And you shouldn't.
Hello. Okay.
And you shouldn't. You should never do that.
Who make enough money for that, and they be like, I'm cool right here. And I can make this for the rest of my life. And granted, I'm always thankful. If I made that for the rest of my life, I'm cool with that. But I'm never going to stop trying. And I think that's what I'm saying. So being in a relationship with me, you're going to be with somebody who's always trying.
Right. As you should. There's nothing wrong with wanting to better yourself and wanting to do more with your life and your gifts and your talents and things like that. Which this is bringing me to a really good point. We have another topic that I wanted to just bring up real quick. How do you feel about dating somebody that's outside of your education bracket? Because there's a post going around on social media, and apparently he said once you date somebody outside your educational bracket, you're not going to be able to communicate with them, and there's always going to be friction. Before we get into this clip, how do you think you would feel about dating someone who wasn't educationally on your level?
I think I've definitely talked to people who were below my educational, but I think a lot of this has to do with IQ. You know what I mean? I think I don't want to date anybody who has a lower IQ than me. You know what I mean? Like, low, girl. All they can offer is backwards and Bacardi. Like, I'm good on it.
Well, let's see what our good friend on the interwebs had to say about it.
Okay, let's see.
Dating outside of your education bracket is going to lead to misunderstandings and arguments. They ain't going to empathize with you. They not going to see where you're coming from. They can't relate to you in no way. They can't see vice versa. They can't see both sides. They going to think argument is the way to communicate and shit. Either get with somebody that's above and you trying to work up to get up to that point, or y'all at the same level and y'all both want to grow. But if one is lower than the other, that shit not going to work out.
So I think this is a really interesting point because there's two things that I want to say. First, I don't think what he meant was education. I think as the more he started talking, I think what he meant was emotional intelligence, because he said things like they're not going to be able to empathize. They're not going to be able to see your point of view. Those are not things that you read in a book to understand. Those are things that you come across as you deal with other people. You become self-aware and you're aware of people around you. So I think that's what he meant with that. But also too, I think that it's important to note that anytime you date somebody out that's off your wavelength, one of two things is going to happen. They are either going to have to rise to meet you, or they will bring you down.
That part.
That's just the way it goes. Either they're going to rise to meet your standards and you'll continue to grow together, or that person is going to literally dumb you down. I've seen it happen so many times. How many times you've been in a conversation with somebody you like, now am I stupid or are they stupid?
Literally, like,
because now I think everybody is, am I slow, Lord? Because
is it me? Right.
Is it me? And that's what these relationships will do.
With me listening to what both of y'all are saying, I feel like we would be SOL. And let me tell you why. Because I don't want to, first of all, I agree with him and I agree with you. I don't want to date anybody who would ever bring me down. I'm way too intelligent for that. But also, if we're talking about you dating somebody who's above you and then you coming up, like he said, then that would kind of be like them dating somebody so they wouldn't go for you. Because if they were going to date they would have to date somebody who's above them. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I think the intention is what's important. If somebody is beneath you, but they're trying and you see progress, that's one thing.
Okay.
But they're, you know, like, you have to give people time to make their
dating on
improvements.
the level, then anybody who's here is not going to be attracted to someone who's has a higher education and really IQ too. And like you said, emotional intelligence is really important in understanding. I also think that there are people who because I'm just thinking about my past relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have done this when I was younger, right? Because all I cared about at that time, it didn't have nothing to do with education. The only thing I wanted to do was have fun, right? So drinking, staying out, partying, making me laugh, that was kind of the bar, right? What it should have been a lot broader now that I'm older in my age is things that I look for in people that please mentally F me. Please. I love to be mentally effed. Like, that is who I am, where you say something and it causes me to think about something else. And then we go down this rabbit hole of conversation. That is what turns me on. Like, I can't help but be turned on by somebody who is just well educated and who helped me think outside the box. But then there are times where you get caught up in having fun. There are people who want to be with people in relationships, people who just want to have fun. And that is just like always going out, drinking, smoking, partying. Like, that is the highlight of the relationship. So intelligence or certain things are not that important in those types of relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and in that relationship, nobody's bringing anybody down because nobody's doing anything anyway.
Right.
So,
exactly.
you know, nobody
is doing a thing.
Anything of value to add to any conversations. I think it's just, for me, it's just always important to date at your level, whether it's financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, because what I have seen is that you'll drive yourself crazy trying to get somebody to understand why they should feel like you feel, when what you could have done was just find somebody that you like. Don't come over here trying to tell me what I need to do for myself when it's already working for me. Go over there and do what works for you. Okay? There's a duality to it. While I do want somebody who can bring me up a peg, I also don't want somebody over here trying to change me, because who I am is who I am. So there's a difference between you trying to change who I am and you trying to evolve me into a better person or help me evolve myself into a better person.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to say there are moments where you do need to change. You know, there are things that maybe you notice with being with that person that may benefit you in the long run by changing that thing about yourself. But that's more so, like you said, evolution, evolving, wanting to be a better woman or a man. You know, you see how that can benefit you in the long run. But I don't think it's always worth going back and forth about. You know, like, if it's something that I feel like solid about and it's in my core values to be this way, I don't think you should go tooth and nail with me about trying to change that thing.
I absolutely agree. It's the difference of, like, maybe you should wash your clothes this way. Okay, cool. I don't care how the clothes are washed as long as they are washed.
That part.
You know, and we don't have to fight over what type of washing machine to get. If this is the kind of, like, I think just some things just don't need to be, you know, talked to death. But if we're having communication issues, like, I've had to go to people and say, listen, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't handle that right. In retrospect, you know, I see where I made a mistake and I probably could have communicated my feelings a little differently. To me, that's emotional intelligence and that's growth. For me to be able to realize, girl, you ain't have to do all that. You could have said, you know, X, Y, and Z, and it could have got the same reaction or whatever.
But then you
know,
get that backside of that person who still got an attitude, who don't have enough emotional intelligence to just accept the apology, talk it out, and move on from it. Who would prefer to hold a grudge with you and talk about it with everybody who walked past them about what you did, and then you try to come over here and apologize, and that wasn't nothing. Like,
yeah, then people get cussed out and blocked, because what you're not gonna do. I think, and this is how I feel about people who stay after somebody cheats, right? Now, I'm never going to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
If you cheat on me, you can absolutely go to hell. But if I were to stay with somebody who cheated, I'm not about to be like mean to you and punish you.
Yeah.
Just irrationally, just whenever I get ready, whenever I think about it and the feelings
bring it
come
up.
Oh, I forgot you cheated on me. No,
yeah, right, exactly.
I know me.
Christina's gone.
Exactly. I know me, and I know I cannot get over cheating because there's too many steps involved for you to violate me in that way. I'm not a person who can do it. So if you cheat on me, I'm out. I'm not even going to put you through that because you can't handle my wrath.
Girl, you know how I am, Jerrilyn. Y'all, if y'all been watching, y'all know how I am. So ain't even about to comment on that. Because if you know, then you know.
Yeah.
I'm not the only person who will leave with trauma. Just know.
I just be like, let me grab my purse and go, child. Because the way y'all...
let me grab my purse and go oops upside your head. Then I'll leave.
Now, you're going to be in prison. And I want you to know right now, I don't visit people that go to prison. I just need you to know.
Yes, you do. I'm going to be calling you, Jerrilyn.
Don't call. I'm going to block you. I'm going to block you.
Put something on my books.
I'm not.
I can't even get no hot flaming hot Cheetos or nothing.
You will be in there eating oodles and noodles, getting passed around for his carton of cigarettes. Because, no, if you valued your freedom as my friend, you wouldn't have been doing that. No. I got to put my foot down.
Yeah, I'm coming.
I got to put my foot down.
That's what Jerrilyn said no. I don't care.
Because now they're looking at the letters that we're sending back and forth and listening to the phone call talking about, well, she must be an accomplice. Now I'm in prison too. No.
Us together. Girl, we can take over. Everybody can be content creators.
We should do a TV show about that.
See?
We can do a TV show about it, but we ain't finna do it in real life.
Right? No, we ain't going to jail for
the way I would never, baby. I spent them little hours in that holding cell one time. I said, "Oh, baby, I ain't doing another crime ever. You ain't got to worry about me committing a single crime, baby. I'm straight and narrow."
Right. Baby, you don't got to worry about me. You don't got to worry about me.
No, ma'am. But you know who some of us do have to worry about? Who? Girl, it's some crazy people on the internet. Did you know a Florida man named Tyler Chambers decided it was going to be a good idea to threaten a Girl Scout? Now, a Girl Scout, a 9-year-old Girl Scout. She came to the door of his home while he was not there. I think his wife and his child were there, but he wasn't there. So he saw her on the ring. He took a screen grab of the ring recording and said, "You better be glad I wasn't at home because I would have shot your dumb ass." Now, I'm trying to figure out.
A kid?
Yes, child. Like, I don't understand. And there were some other expletives involved. But I just don't understand how it was that serious for a 9-year-old. And you can clear the ring cameras. I don't know if you got one, but I got one and they're pretty clear. Okay, so I can see
for miles too.
Exactly. They're very clear. So you knew that this girl was not a threat. It's a child. And so, he's since deleted it and made his apology. But
deleted, of course.
The lady, the girl's mother set up a GoFundMe so, to raise money so she could take legal action against him. Girl, what would you do if this was your child? You said, okay, oops, upside your head. Got it.
Jerrilyn, you not here. Jerrilyn.
I walked right into that.
I'm dead ass.
No.
When I tell you, I will go slam back to the house. Like, wherever that house, I'm going right back to the house and demanding that they come outside. Demanding that they come outside.
That's too much, though. Yeah. I wouldn't mind you shooting somebody.
Face on posters around the neighborhood and said you was going to shoot. Are you crack? I like to see you try it. I like to see you try it.
For me, it's just, this is the thing, right? I think about stuff like road rage. To me, it's just never this serious. And I'm sorry, she wasn't a Girl Scout, but she was selling candy door to door. So my apologies, I want to correct that.
She's a child.
But she's a baby.
Child.
She's a baby. And so for you to be doing stuff like this, responding to something this really, it's the same to me as road rage. I have a huge problem, especially being in the car with people who, you need to rolling down the window, talking crazy, flipping people off, flashing your gun. It's too much for me. Play with your life on your own time because you don't know what people have going on. You don't know how they feeling today and what they just been dealing with. And I don't want my life ended because y'all are being stupid. And I think this is a situation like that. Because I don't even understand what you were so mad about. It's clearly a child selling candy.
What are you so mad about? You wasn't home. She wasn't a threat. She's a kid. She didn't have a gun. She had candy. Where is the threat coming from?
She was black. She was black.
That was enough. And that's the part right there, Jerrilyn. That's the part. Just your skin complexion is enough to make somebody do the most.
He thought that he was being held at skin point. Didn't nobody know. Didn't nobody know. He saw a black girl and got confused.
Girl, she was going to rob you with a Mr. Goodbye. You was going to have a fit. Like, I don't know. I think it's extreme. And this is just like the Trayvon Martin situation where this boy was minding his business. Like, literally minding his business, doing nothing to nobody. And this man, pretty much, Zimmerman, tracked him down, hunted him, pretty much hunted him down.
Went out his way. You went out his way to do that.
Completely out your way to go hunt him down and kill that boy because you felt threatened by a skin complexion. He did not have a gun. He had Skittles. He had nothing. Like, this is the part I'm talking about. Y'all are so intimidated by us. It's ridiculous. It's sad. It's literally sad. And you said that you deleted the post because you knew it was wrong. If you stood 10 toes deep on whatever you put out, why the post still not up? Why you still not going back and forth with people about your family being threatened?
People don't want to be accountable for their mistakes, their wrongdoing, their evil, their bigotry and racism. Because at the end of the day, he might not have felt. I'm learning. A lot of white people don't think that they're racist a lot of times. They don't understand the microaggressions that they inflict on Black people. And sometimes they might not be aware of just how racist something is or how their thinking has become. And so, and this is not me saying this like I give a damn. This is me saying it as if this is the response that a white person is going to give back if they're questioned about something like this.
Yeah.
Because essentially what he came back and said was, I saw that he came back and said, I was hot when I posted it, which is why I deleted it right away. I could have handled it a lot differently. But I saw that on my camera and I have a wife and a 7-month-old at home. And sir, at the end of the day, if you were looking at this from any other lens, you would clearly see, oh, this man is racist. Because how did a 9-year-old Black girl with candy make you feel threatened?
Your wife is 7-month-old.
And I don't know a whole lot of 9-year-olds committing felonies. I'm sure they exist. You know, but I ain't never seen no 9-year-old holding a chocolate bar and also a blicky. So I'm not really sure what the confusion was, but people like him is how people like Trayvon Martin get murdered. People with that type of mindset is how women don't make it home from traffic stops. It's how they get, shot at grocery stores or, confusing them with a criminal just because their skin is Black. That's a deeper issue. And so I hope that's an issue.
That's a real issue, though.
Yeah.
That's a real issue and people may not even look. No, people need to look at this as just that. And I'm glad you stated it because it's nothing but the truth. My thing is, you thought a 9-year-old was a threat to your wife and your 7-month-old. How do you deal with Amazon Prime? How do you deal with UPS? How do you deal with USPS, FedEx? When they come to your door, I want to know, are you giving this same energy to people who come to your door? Because if it's just that broad, then I need you to be putting posters up of everybody who's on that ring light, no matter who it is. Yeah. It wasn't that simple. And I'm glad you said that. It was something so much deeper than that, which is like you saw a Black little girl come to your door and you felt threatened. You thought your 7-month was in harm's way.
From a 9-year-old Black girl then.
Please.
9 years old. Now, granted, a lot of these kids do look a little older these days, the hormones and stuff in the food. But I doubt very seriously this girl posed any type of
threat to them.
She was selling candy.
Nobody even answered the door. The thing is, you did all of this in hindsight because nobody answered the door. Exactly. You weren't home. So why do we give all this energy to something that wasn't even real? It didn't even happen. You had all this manifest in your head that nothing happened. You weren't home.
That's what racism does. It makes you fear for no reason. It's an irrational fear of people that don't look like you. Thinking that a 9-year-old Black girl with candy is going to hurt your wife and 7-month-old is crazy.
It's crazy.
Whole time, this man is the violent one.
Right, exactly. And ma'am, I want to talk to you because you had a baby by this thing. You sat there and had a baby by that. Girl, I would be so disappointed. I would be so disappointed if I had a child by somebody like that. Oh my God. Can I shove it back in? Let me start over.
At this point, you gotta give it up. You gotta go to the adoption people and let someone else.
Yeah, I can't walk around. That baby's hot-headed. That baby has a temper.
Girl, I'm the worst person to ask because the way I'd be like, get rid of it. Get that. For 3, get him out of here. Get the baby up out of here, child. That's crazy to me. 7 months is not, it'd be different if his wife answered the door and him and, her and the girl got into an altercation or something. But this is a non-issue. Like you said, nothing even happened. So he got heated like this over something that never took place, took to social media and basically showed the world that he was a racist. And so I feel like when stuff like that happen, you should call people's jobs and get them fired. Now hear me out.
Yeah.
People are going to say, well, the 7-month-old is innocent. So was the 9-year-old.
Hello?
And now she might be, I don't know if she's seen this, in her neighborhood or on social media. I know her mom did because she started a GoFundMe to take legal action. That would make me feel very unsafe if my child was in a neighborhood with a man who would do something like that.
Yep. So true. I definitely agree. We need to know where he lives, where he works at, where he lives, and we need to start filing complaints. Because yes, the baby is innocent, but that baby has a temper. I'm telling you, Jerrilyn, I just know it.
Not the baby already mad. Maybe she knows exactly. Maybe the baby knows exactly who the father is and is already upset.
Right. Exactly.
Because
that baby was
God,
pissed. The baby's like, oh, not you. He knows.
God, you had one job. You had one job, and it was to care for this 7-month-old, and you put it in the arms of Rambo / whoever this man think he is. Really badass on the internet and everywhere else. I mean, it's just crazy. It's the irrational fear of, black skin. It's a whole child. You scared of a 9-year-old?
9-year-old. Weird. That's weird.
Okay. Probably
That's
unpack
weird.
that in therapy, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully, the lady's able to, raise enough funds, and if legal action can be taken, hopefully, I really hope somebody would take on the case for free, because that's just crazy, especially in the wake of all these DEI initiatives they got rolling back at all these companies and stuff. Like, now is the time to stand up for and stand with Black people. So hopefully we'll see something different. I don't know.
I hope so.
Well, I hate to tell you, friend. Although
Don't say.
we've gone to the end of the road.
It's unnatural.
Girl, they hit that like that. Girl, they hit that from the pits of their stomachs right there.
I know.
Oh,
And it's
y'all.
always it's my worst time filming. But friend, I missed you. I'm glad you enjoyed your
missed you too.
vacation. But I missed you, and I'm
did.
glad we got to catch up.
Yes, me too, y'all. And I'm glad y'all got to catch up with us also. We love being here, okay? Every Thursday. If you don't know, we hit every Thursday on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. You just got to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll know every time we up.
It sounds good to me. I'm out.